Yeah, move that up. All right, Shalom. We the brothers of Great Millstone, the Church of Birmingham, Alabama. And as always, we want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash.
The correct name of the Heavenly Father is the only begotten Son, and the Holy Spirit in the ancient Hebrew tongue. Also want to give double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who we believe through faith to be raised up in these latter days to establish the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And to all you brothers out there that's doing likewise, continuing their legacy, we say Shalom. So yeah, we're gonna go into a quick live stream, which is gonna be entitled "The Fall of Kingdoms." All right, and that's dealing with technically Esau, the so-called white man, because when you consider Esau in his current system that's governing the planet Earth, it's actually a conglomerate of kingdoms. You know why? Because Esau uphold these ancient demonic, customs from the ancient world. Esau has revised that. A perfect example is so-called Christmas. That goes back, that's an ancient Babylonian custom. It goes back to Tammuz and Samaris, the whole Christmas tree, with the gifts to Nimrod. Well, that's an ancient Babylonian custom that Esau upholds. All right, so the fall of Esau is pretty much going to be the fall of kingdoms, plural, because this devil have heaped different ideas and customs to himself, and he pushed it out throughout the world, man. That's the sign of a harlot, because a harlot, she has different men who she deal with, and she put out that energy from different men. See? So let's start off with what you got up.
Yeah, this is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible.
Right, so this to set the stage, Daniel was speaking to the king concerning the dream that he had, and this dream was pretty much a biblical timeline of the kingdoms and empires. And what's so heavy about Nebuchadnezzar's dream is that dream is still playing out to this very day, man. That dream hasn't really been fulfilled yet. Go ahead up.
God, it says this image's head was of fine gold, his breast of his arm were of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Right, so that's a biblical timeline. All right, it started off with the head, which the head is symbolic to Babylon. Read after the head.
It says his breast and his arms of silver.
And that's dealing with the Medo-Persian Empire. Go ahead.
And his belly and his thighs of brass.
Which is dealing with what? The Greeks. All right, go ahead.
His legs of iron.
The Roman Empire.
His feet, part of iron and part of clay.
Which is dealing with NATO, the EU, and the UN. So if you notice, from the breast, the thighs, to the feet, is all the so-called white men, And when you consider your body, your thighs and your legs holds up everything else. So the so-called white man is upholding the ancient customs of old. You got people that celebrate these different holidays and different ideas that the so-called white man has pushed out. Well, a lot of that goes back, the origins of that goes back to ancient kingdoms, who the Most High waged war against, man. So they show you that Esau is a devil, He's straight adverse to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All right? So now, if you will, read that one more time and read down to the brass and the thigh.
It says, this image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass.
And his belly and his thighs of brass. Now again, the bellies and the thighs is what? The Greek Empire. Now what's the main stumbling block for the majority of people who claim to understand the Bible? You don't understand the Greek Empire, which when you go into the turning point, so to speak, when Israel was following after heathenistic customs, you know, which they end up gaining, earning the term or being coined with the phrase of being Gentiles, you had to know about the Greeks. Because in the Greek Empire, that's when Jake was being conformed to other philosophies and other ideas, right? So now, where do you learn about the Greek Empire? In the Apocrypha. Which the Apocrypha, when you break that word down, it means hidden text. Now, give me Isaiah 47, real quick. Where it say I will
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse 1.
Now go to the point I'll uncover the lot.
Done.
This is
Isaiah 47 and verse 2. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg.
Make bare the leg. Now, when you read about the statue of Daniel, the thighs down to the leg is who? Esau, man. Along with the Greek and the Roman. So the Lord made bare. You know, the Lord exposed the so-called white man. So when you read Isaiah 47, that's what it's going into. Make bare the legs. See? Now read back in Daniel where you at.
It says, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
So the Lord is in the time of exposing the so-called white man. That's why we just read right here, make bare the legs. Which, when you consider your legs, your thighs is connected to your legs. That's why the Lord, really your thighs, your legs, and your feet is connected, man. So that's symbolic to the so-called white man and his reign of terror. You know, going back from the Greeks to the Romans to now, man. Which these same devils that's in power, all right? So thus the title of this whole sit down, The Rise and Fall of Kingdoms. Because really Esau is a mixture and a conglomerate of kingdoms. All right? So what you got something over there?
Actually, I didn't have to.
Get that.
This on Habakkuk 2, verse 5. He also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man.
And that's dealing with who? Esau, the so-called white man. You got clowns out there that's talking about Japhet or the damn Arabs. You see how stupid niggas is, man? The Arabs as being Esau. When you read, matter of fact, hold that, somebody gets 2 Ezra 6 and I think it's 9.
I got it. It's 2 Ezra 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed.
Insinuating what? Esau being rulership and power in the end of the world. Now, for all you niggas that said Japhet, or especially the damn Arabs, Esau kicked the Arabs' ass, man. They ain't in power, man. If you familiar with Michael Moore, he did them documentaries, he put them out on DVDs by 9/11. I remember watching the old documentary, they had pickup trucks of damn Arabs, kids, so-called Arabs, just sprawled, throw it in the back of the pickup truck because they were collateral damage from Esau bombing their ass, man. So Esau is in power, man, and that would be the so-called white man by process of elimination. That's why you read Job 9:24, it tell you that. It said, if not, then who is, matter of fact, get that real quick, Doc. You get that. Job 9:24, man. Because the main kingdom that's going to be taken out of power before you, and we're going to get to that right here in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, man. The main kingdom that's going to be in power when Yahweh shall return would be Esau, man, the so-called white man. All right, so go ahead up.
Job 9 and verse 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
Right. So the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Go ahead.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
And that's on all levels. It don't just, a lot of people just talk about Cesare Borgia. It goes deeper than that. It goes into the movies. If you watch some damn movie about Moses and the Ten Commandments, it's Esau, man. So that's a form of covering the faces of the judges, all right? Go ahead.
He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right, so if not, where and who is he, man? That scripture's being somewhat facetious, man. All right, if it ain't Esau, if it ain't the so-called white man, then who is he? It couldn't be the Arabs. It couldn't be the so-called Chinese, the so-called Africans, man. It gotta be Esau. Because if you want to make it in this world, in this society, you gotta subscribe to the curriculum of Esau, man, the so-called white man. You gotta go there. And we live right here in Birmingham, and if you go down the south side, UAB, that's one of the top 2 or 3 medical institutions in the world. And if you pay attention, it's nothing but so-called Eastern Indians, Hamites, Moab up in there. You know what I mean? Elam, the Eastern Indians. So think about it. In order for you to come up in this world, you got to know the curriculum of Esau, man. They ain't, point being, you don't see them nations over in Africa and China. They coming over here to learn. If you want to be a pilot, you got to come to America and learn the American language, man. So that's proved that the so-called white man spearhead in the world. They're in charge, man. So that's Esau. Right? Matter of fact, read it one more time. 2 Ezra 6 chapter.
Yeah, because this on 2 Ezra 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow.
Right, so Esau is in control. Now, Esau is contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemai Shah. Somebody give me Genesis, I think that's 11th chapter. We're going to the Tower of Babel. So it's one extreme or another. Either you with Yahweh Shemai Shah or you're against him. Either you follow the laws or you break them. You know? And Esau has proven to be one that's against what the Lord has laid out. See? Go ahead, the top, you got that?
Yeah, I get started at the top. This is Genesis 11:1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Which that's what the so-called white man is trying to bring back. The New World Order. You know? Many out of one. You know? Go ahead.
And it came to pass that they journeyed from the east, that they found the plain of the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
Right. And that's contrary to what the Lord laid out. Really, that's a foreshadowing of the New World Order if you're spiritual, man. You know? Go ahead.
And the Lord Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them. Yeah,
so Yahweh Shemai Shah, that's proof that the Lord is not with everybody coming together. You know? So when you read, as the Ark read on, you'll see that the Most High is against that, man. You know? Go ahead.
Said, and now will nothing be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there found their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left out to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel.
Babel. What is a foreshadowing of what? America. Babylon the Great, man. Because that's the agenda of these, starting with these elites, to bring everybody together, man, and to bring them under one banner. Because really, you can't control everybody they scatter. You got kids or whatever, a football team, you got to have a neutral central spot where you can put your hand on everybody. Everybody can't be all over the place, man. So the so-called white man in his attempts, his feeble attempts to try to enslave the world, pretty much, they got to have everybody gathered together. See? Because if you let somebody go out and do their own thing, then they pretty much will be able to tap into other thought processes that's not in harmony with what you're trying to set up. But that's what the Lord did with us, man. He pulled us away from this system, man, and gave us another outlook, Jake trying to make it in this system. They're trying to, get money and riches. Their goal is to be high regards, to be looked at, highly esteemed, But that's because they fell trapped to Esau. Now, we just read right there in Genesis, but this is talking about Babel. This is a foreshadowing of the so-called white man, and his agenda. All right? Now, go back to Habakkuk. This should make more sense now. Go ahead.
This is Habakkuk 2 in verse 5. Yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
Right, because the so-called white man can't be satisfied. Here it is, this devil actually print up the money. It's like if you play a Monopoly, right? And you take all the money. Like, I got the money, But that's Esau. Here it is, this man seized control of the planet Earth. We saw in Genesis 27 chapter. The Lord gave him the fatness of the earth, man. But this man can't be satisfied. All right? Yeah, go ahead, give what you got.
Proverbs 27 and verse 20, hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied.
And that's dealing with Esau. Okay. Esau had seized control of the oil, the gold, and the diamonds. Really, they control the market, just to simplify it. Yeah, the resources of the world, man. And they got enough, all right? But they look to go into other lands and seize control of their resources, So the scriptures are spot on, all right? So go back to what you got.
Okay, precept.
Go ahead.
And it's Obadiah 1. This Obadiah 1 in verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Right, and they got the world, man. So these devils, man, they can't be satisfied. Here it is. They got the world. The Lord gave them the attributes, the weaponry, to take control of the planet Earth. And these devils really want more, and they really want you. It tells you that in Revelation the 18th chapter about how where it speaks about the cinnamon and the gold. Matter of fact, get that. We'll talk about the sons of men. Slaves. Yep, get that. Yep. Go ahead, I'll continue to read.
Yeah, continuing on. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
Yeah, and that's true, man. Like even on a level of a dude breaking in your house, right? You might steal the important things, the DVD, whatever, your laptop, But Esau coming there and steal the goddamn, everything, man. Your tissue. Esau steal the tissue off the roll, man. So that's what the scripture's going into, all right? So go ahead up. What we got?
All right, Kanye, this is on Revelations chapter 18. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, and the kings of the earth will...
And you know what? Go ahead from the cinnamon on and get everything.
Oh, you want to go? All right, Kanye. It says, it says, I took down verse 11. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man bows their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and of silver and precious stone and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all that wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of more precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots.
Yeah. Now that proves that this is talking about America. All right? America is an import country. You know, marble, wood, fine linen, cinnamon, odors. It said horses, chariots, which is symbolic of cars. And that's spirit, because you got Donald Trump, right? He was saying we need to get the manufacturers over here. So that's the chariots. That's talking about the cars. But read on.
It says, and slaves.
And what?
And slaves.
And slaves. Because now these devils, that's what we just read. They ain't satisfied with the world. They want you. All right? Now, real quick, give me Nahum 1. Give me Nahum 1 and 9.
It says, and slaves and souls of men.
And souls of men, meaning they want your life. They want you, man. And that's why they want to put that chip in you so they can control you, because the chip is not only just a buy and sell thing, it's to track you, man. You know? So that scripture that tells you, and I think Isaiah the 47th chapter, we're talking about they say that there's none besides me.
Yeah,
you know, and he even tell you in 2 Thessalonians, you know, where they set themselves up as being the Most High. All right, so somebody got that Nahum 1 and 9. Start at the 8th verse.
There's Nahum chapter 1 verse 8. But with an overrunning flood, he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. Verse 9. What do you imagine against the Lord?
Yeah, what do you imagine against the Lord? And that's dealing with what? This new world order. You know? This agenda you got set up, this private sector you got behind the scenes, man. You know? Go ahead.
He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time.
Read that one more time.
It's Nahum
That's
chapter
the 9th verse.
Nahum chapter 1 verse 9 again. What do you imagine against the Lord? Yahweh Shah, he will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise affliction shall not rise up the second time.
Meaning what? Oppression, slavery is not going to rise up a second time. You had your chance, man. So Esau is imagining a vain thing by trying to enslave the inhabitants of the planet Earth again, man. Because really, when you go into it, Esau is not just trying to enslave you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. They want to enslave their own people, man. Other fellow Edomites, you know? Which proves that when the Lord talks about if Satan be divided with Satan, that's true, man. Because when you talk about Esau, right, they like a bunch of wild beasts. If you throw a steak or a piece of raw meat out to wild dogs, they're not going to negotiate and diplomatically work it out. They're going to take each other's head off of that meat. So that's how it is with the so-called white man, these elites. That's why you notice these crackers, these KKKs, they hate the so-called Jews. But because the prophets are coming to pass, you know? That the Lord was going to bring Egypt against Egypt. I think he talked about that in Isaiah 19 and 19.
19. I can get it real quick.
Yeah, get that real quick.
19 and 2. Okay, you got it.
Because it's Isaiah 19 and verse 19. Oh, Isaiah 19 verse 2, so like it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Right, and that's dealing with what? Modern day Edomites, you so-called white people. The Lord said I would set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Egyptians is symbolic to oppressors, man. Those who oppress Israel. Go ahead up.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
Right, and that's what you see, the Democrats and the Republicans. It's going to be another civil war in America, man. The Civil War, the participants of Civil War has been reincarnated. They back on planet Earth. And they're going to play that whole dynamic out once more. All right? So that was it on that. Now go back to Daniel. One of y'all got a precept? Go back in Daniel, y'all.
All right, Kanye, it's Daniel chapter 2 and verse 34. It says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands.
Right. Go ahead.
which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces.
Right. So now what's that stone? The stone is Yahweh Shai. You know? Matter of fact, somebody get that in Matthew 21 and 42 right quick. Matthew 21 and 42.
This is Matthew 21, verse 42. Yahweh said unto them, did ye never read in the scriptures? 14 again. Matthew 21 and 42 again. Yahweh said unto them, did you never read in the scriptures the stone which the builders rejected? The same is become the head of the corner. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes.
Right. So that stone is dealing with Yahweh Shai. All right. So read that one more time, Mike.
It says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces.
Right. Now that iron and clay is dealing with when Yahweh Shai returned. Now, if you consider, let's just say the human body, the beginning of your body would be your head. The end of the body would be your feet. So this is a biblical timeline right here we're dealing with. So this proves that Yahweh Shai is going to come back in the time of the 10 toes, which is symbolic to NATO and the EU. All right. Now read that one more time. That part is talk about the poet clay.
God, it says, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces.
Now that's dealing with the current system that governs the planet Earth, which comes in the form of NATO and the EU. Now, the reason why it's part iron, part clay, because some of these nations is weaker, others are stronger. Matter of fact, I think there's a Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter 2, where it's talking about laying with thick clay. Get that. Because for an example, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Sweden, it's plenty of countries, you know, that's a part of the NATO and the EU that's weak. You know, they don't have a strong financial structure, and the other countries have to kind of hold them up, you know. So that's dealing with where we at right now. So that proves that Yahweh Shai is going to return at this time. But when he take down this current system, he's going to take down the whole statue. So that's going to be the rise and fall of not just one kingdom, but all kingdoms, man. You know? Because the so-called white man kind of revived those other wicked empires, man. You know? So, get that in the house. That's how I do.
Yeah, this Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6. Should not all these take up a parable against him? And he taught him proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that laid himself with thick clay.
Right, and that thick clay, when you go into that word clay, it means death. So that's dealing with the 10 toes. Because really, this is how Esau get down, man. Esau is very deceptive. Esau will throw a smoke screen at you by saying, I'm Swedish, he Russian, I'm American, he German. No, at the end of the day, you all Edomites, man. And you hide behind these different uniforms. That's why the Lord said 10 toes. So you're in debt. You know, even America in debt. You go to the National Debt Clock, they 19, 20 trillion, and that was like 2 years ago. So it's rapidly progressing, man. They're in deep debt, you know. Matter of fact, if you will, just to let support that, get that in the blue letter. What that Habakkuk 2 and what? Somebody can get that. Habakkuk 2 and 6. And let's look up that word. Let's see what it says in the blue letter. Habakkuk 2 and 6, that word for clay, you know. And this proves that the prophecies is spot on, man. And we're in the time where the Lord Yahweh Shai is getting ready to take down all these different empires, kingdoms, philosophies, and ideas that's contrary to law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shema Shah. You know. So go ahead.
This is the word clay in Habakkuk 2 and 6. The Strong's H 5671. Avteet. All right, avteet. And the definition says weight of pledges, heavy debts.
Heavy debts. So you can't make this up, man. All right, the current system right now, which is and this proves that Esau is the so-called white man. For an example, the acronym for NATO, what really the EU is what? The European Union, man. So that European is synonymous with the so-called white man. So that's who rule the planet Earth right now, man. It ain't no up for debate, man.
Job 9:24.
Job 9:24, man. It's obvious. That's why Job said, if not, then who is he, man? Because this man came right out and told you that he stated his claim that he ruled the planet Earth, man. You know, which is in direct harmony with the prophecies of Yahweh Shema Shah. All right? So go ahead out. You had some over there, something?
No. Let's see.
If not, go back to that Daniel. Start back off what you had. Keep reading.
Yeah, kind of back in Daniel's 2, verse 34 again said, "Thou sawest till a stone was cut out with hands."
Yep, and that stone again is Yahweh Shah. Go ahead.
Which smote the image upon his feet thereof, iron and clay, and break them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together.
Right. See, so that's why the title of this lesson is The Rise and Fall of Kingdoms. Because when the Lord take down the so-called white man, he's going to take down any other idea that you know what? Give me put that in 1 Corinthians, anything that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Yahweh.
Yeah,
Let's get that. So by taking down Esau, the Most High, through his son Yahweh Shah, is going to take down kingdoms, plural. Because again, this devil he upholds ancient customs, wicked customs that's contrary to Yahweh Shah. In the spirit, right now in December, we're in a time where Jake is going to be following after so-called Christmas, man. Well, that was a custom and an idea that was resurrected by the damn devil. All right, so-called white man. Go ahead up.
Yeah, kind of. It's in Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. It says, casting down imaginations.
Casting down? How is that going to happen? By way of that stone, man. You know? Down south, we call it cast. You take somebody down, you hit them at the feet, man. That proves y'all about Shah Jakes, man. You know? So the Lord, the way you take down the structure is to go to the foundation. You know? Go ahead.
It's just casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bring it into captivity, every thought into the obedience of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah.
Right. So all these different kingdoms and empires was coming up against the idea of the kingdom of heaven, man. The doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shah. You know? So the Lord, by taking down the so-called white man, is going to take down all that. Because again, you got to remember, the Lord's ways ain't like your ways. The Lord still got a beef with the ancient Babylonians, the ancient Medo-Persian Empire, the Greeks. Just because it was 1,000 years ago, that's nothing to the Lord, man. You know? So the Lord is taking all that down, man. You know? And one, then they got the old saying, kill two birds with one stone, man. You know? So the Lord is taking down anything that came up against them in this time. That's why we highlighted the fact that Nebuchadnezzar's dream is still playing out today. It ain't over. The Lord still got a beef with the Babylonians. He still got a beef with the Medo-Persians. Why? Because what they pushed on the planet Earth is still lingering. You know? So, yep, go ahead.
Yeah, this Psalms 2 and 1.
Yep.
Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing.
Right, and that's in the form of their ideas, their philosophies, you know, the outlook that they push out there as it concerns gods and powers and what's to be worshipped and not to be worshipped. You know? Go ahead.
Yeah, kind. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Right. And in the form of doing that is bringing about your own philosophies and ideas. Right? All right. So go ahead.
Yeah, verse
Mhm.
1.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this Daniel chapter 2 and verse 35, it says, then the iron, the clay, and brass, and silver, and the gold broken to pieces together.
See? So the Lord not just highlighting Esau, he highlighting all the kingdoms. He taking down all the kingdoms with Yahushua come back, man. Oh, that's why somebody get that many crowns on his head with many crowns. Because when Yahushua come back, he's not just taking the crown from Esau. He's taking Nebuchadnezzar, if you can receive it, they back today, man. Xerxes, you know, the Media Persians, Alexander, these clowns back today. They didn't escape. The Lord coming back to conquer all these different kingdoms that came up against him, you know? So whoever got it, bring it out.
This is Revelation 19 and 12. His eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
And those many crowns are symbolic to all these different empires the Lord's going to come back and seize, man. You know? So that's why, matter of fact, finish that off and jump right back to where you was at.
It says, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
And that's somebody elect. Go ahead.
It says, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold.
Which is different crowns, which is different kingdoms. So the Lord is going to take them down, take them out of the way, overthrow them, and he's going to receive a crown. And that was a custom in the ancient world, man. You take down the king, you take his crown. You know? Go ahead.
It says, broken to pieces together and became
together. They all gonna go down in that one action. When Yahushua return, he's not just taking down the so-called white man. He's taking down all these different ideas, man. You know? Go ahead.
It says, it became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors.
And what's the summer? Those nuclear missiles, man. Matter of fact, somebody get that real quick. Matthew 24. I think it's what, Matthew 24 and 32 or something like that. That's the summer. All right? So this thing is coming together clearer and clearer.
Amen.
When you read 1 Corinthians, I believe 13 and 12, it tell you how this thing is like, it gets clearer and clearer. You know? So go ahead.
Here comes this Matthew 24 and verse 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branches is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh.
Right. So you know that summer is now. Now go back to Daniel.
It says, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them, and the stone that smote the
And the threshing floor and the chaff, just say like if I sweep a floor, when I sweep it, it's gonna blow everything away.
Besom.
The besom of Yahweh. It goes to sweep it, man. You know? So the Lord is gonna sweep everything away in that one action when he returns, you know? And that's gonna be the summer. That's when the missiles gonna come. Go ahead.
says, and the wind carried them away.
And that's the nuclear winds, which links up with Revelation, the 7th chapter. Go ahead.
It says that no place was found for them.
No rulership, no throne, no place. Because right now is a place. December 25th, you have niggas still carrying on the customs of Tammuz and Samaritans, man. Ceramics, whatever, you know. Serapis, yeah. Serapis Christmas, but I'm talking about Tammuz and Samaris with Nimrod and the tree. So it's still a place for them right now. But when the mills come, it ain't gonna be no place for that no more. All right, go ahead. You got
I
something?
had a precept to go with that.
Yep, bring it out.
It's Luke 21, Luke chapter 21, verse 29. He spake to them in parable, behold the fig tree and all the trees. Verse 30, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that some is now not in hand.
Yeah, and that's beautiful because guess what? That's the Yahushua, that's Yahushua talking to the elect. Because nobody else can see that the summer is not. Really, technically, you people is like a nigga walking around in a mink coat in the spring. You're not aware of what season you're in, man. All right? So go ahead up.
It says, and the stone that smote the images became a great mountain and filled
And that great mountain is what? Give me Isaiah 2 and start at the top. Because the Lord is going to, if you have faith in the grain of a mustard seed, you should move mountains, man. Mountains is symbolic to governments. So the Lord is going to take one government out of the way and going to set up another great mountain. All right, Isaiah 2, start at the top.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 2, and verse 1, the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Which is Israel, go ahead.
And it came to pass in the last days.
Well, are not we in the last days? Go ahead.
That the mountains of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the hill.
See? Now read that one more time.
It says, and the stone that smote the images became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
And that's the government, because when we set up we're going to establish the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemel, and that's going to fill the whole earth. Like right now, Esau's demonic rhetoric fills the earth. You got people in Dubai or Iran, and Israel, China, that's straight up homos, because Esau's philosophies fill the earth. But there's going to come a time where Yahweh Shemel, law, statutes, and commandments going to fill the earth. All right, go ahead up.
It says, this is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the Most High of heaven have given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven have he given into thine hand, and he have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art his head of gold.
Right, so Daniel breaking it down. No, go ahead.
It says, and after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
And then it's going to the Greeks. When you read, matter of fact, go to that. And Maccabees 1.
It's Maccabees 1 and verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils was multiplied in the earth.
Now go back to that. I'll leave it there.
It says, and after these shall arise another kingdom inferior unto thee.
That's the Medo-Persian Empire. Go ahead.
And another third kingdom of brass.
The Greeks, what we just read about, dealing with Alexander the Greek. Go ahead.
Which shall bear rule over all the earth.
Right, so the known world at that time, starting with Alexander the Greek and his four generals, they spread throughout the known earth. All right. So go ahead up.
And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall he break in pieces and bruise.
Yep, and that's dealing with so-called white man in this time period, starting with the Roman Empire. Because the Roman Empire is this current system is an extension of the Roman Empire. This is the beast that was the deadly one was here. Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Right, meaning this is unstable. Iron and clay don't mix, which that's really when you go deep into it, that's kingdom against kingdom. Iron and clay don't mix. All right, go ahead.
And as the toes of the feet were part of the iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Right, and we just touched on that. And you can do the research yourself. Part of the EU and NATO countries is in debt, you know, and some of them are strong. All right, go ahead up.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Which is going into the Brexit, you know, different countries exiting out of that contract with the EU and the UN. All right, they ain't gonna mix. Go ahead.
It says, and in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom.
And that's now. Give me the kingdom of heaven is within you. If somebody can find that real quick. All right, and read that while they looking for it out.
And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom.
And that's us, man. The Lord is setting up the kingdom now, man. Because before a kingdom is really manifest into, you know, its manifestation, if you will, the physical manifestation, it's a movement, you know. Men come together and they declare it, you know. So we're in that time now, in the time of these kings, where the Lord is actually setting up a kingdom. All right, so
This is the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse 21. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of the Most High is within you.
Right, so the kingdom is being set up right now, man. All right. So go back to where you at.
It says, in the days of these kings, and in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left. So it's like it shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Right. So the kingdom that's being established now, we're not gonna have to look over our shoulder, you know, worrying about somebody stirring up the other nations, man, against us. You know, we're gonna be firm and established. All right, go ahead up.
It says, for as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mount with our hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power has made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
Yeah, and it's for sure. It's written in stone. That's spirit right there. This is sure, man. Yahushua is gonna return and state claim of rightful ownership of the planet Earth, man. That's that stone. That's Yahushua, man. Which that's proof. Which really it ain't proof. Because when you think about it, these other niggas is not just gonna get it. It wasn't meant for them to get it. But we see it clearly that that's the Old Testament prophesied about Yahushua. You know? Yeah, go ahead up.
That was the poem.
That was it?
Yeah.
That was the last.
He worshiped Daniel and gave him the sweet savors and all of that.
Okay, kind.
Yeah.
Now, it said the kingdom will not be handed over to another. Matter of fact, go to Daniel, the 7th chapter. Go to Daniel 7. Let me see if I can try to find it too. Start at the 7.
Yeah, this James chapter 7 and verse 7. And after this, I saw in the night visions.
And what's the night vision? Now, we seeing in the night visions, man. You know? Go ahead.
And behold, a fourth beast.
See, again, a fourth beast, right? Which you had the ancient Babylonians, the Media Persian, the Greeks. Now we got the fourth beast. Go ahead.
And dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly.
And that's the so-called white man because they dreadful. They got machine, even some as subtle as a damn AK-47, man, or missiles. If they could go back into the ancient world with one AK, they could take over the whole world. You know? Because once they fire one shot, people gonna say, "Oh shit, this guy have power." All right, go ahead.
God, it says, and they had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Right, and then with the so-called white man, the EU and NATO, which I think EU or the NATO right now like 28 countries, but it started off with 10. All right, and that's why I said broken pieces because everything was broken up. You know, go ahead.
And I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Yep, go ahead.
God, it says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, in the ancient of days did sit.
Read that one more time.
God, it says, I beheld till the throne. God, yeah, God, this is Daniel 7 and 9. God, it says, I beheld to the thrones.
And that's plural. The rise and fall of kingdoms, man. All right, go ahead.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancient of days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head were the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him.
Now go to, stop right there, and go to, what is that, 2nd Ezra 13? Is that, yeah, 2nd Ezra 13, it started like 2, I believe. Because it said what? Thousands ministered unto him, a fire stream came out of his mouth. So it's giving you the play-by-play on how the Lord going to take down these kings. Go ahead. 2nd Ezra 13.
Yeah, turn this 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 2. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
Oh, waxed with 1,000. Read that again in Daniel.
God said, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him.
See?
And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him.
That's when the Lord come back and take over and overthrow the so-called white man. Right? Go ahead. Yeah, back where you at. Right?
Oh, yeah, come on. That man waxed strong with thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth.
See? Out of his mouth. Now go back to where you was at again now.
It says, a fiery stream stood before him. It's like a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open.
Yep.
It says, I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake.
Go back to where you at.
Yeah, because it's Acts 13, verse 4 again. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth fell when it filled the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number from the 4 winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
That's not just talking about Esau, that's talking about all the nations. See? So the Lord coming back to kill everybody. Esau gonna be in power at that time, but the Lord gonna get everybody. Now you jump to the 12th verse where you at.
This Daniel chapter 7 and verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away.
See? The rest of the beasts, go ahead.
It says, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time.
Go ahead.
I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like unto the Son of Man, which the clouds of heaven
Came
came to the ancient of days.
read it one more time. Huh?
God, so like it says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven.
Which is the thousands and thousands, which is the chariot. This is how the Lord going to come. That's that stone that knocked the feet out.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come with all the chariots. Go ahead.
And came to the ancient of days, and they brought him near before him, and there were given him dominion and glory and the kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him.
Right. So everybody going to serve Yahushua, man. So when the Lord take down Esau, he really going to take down everybody. You know, everybody going to be in subjection to Yahushua, man. You know, go ahead.
God, it says, his dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So,
Yeah, that's it.
oh, yeah, kind
Now let's go to Ecclesiastes. You got something? Anyone here got something? Get Ecclesiastes the 10th chapter.
Yeah.
Start at the top, I'll read it down.
Sure.
So the point is, when Yahushua return and stake his claim on the planet Earth, he's going to not, when he take down Esau, the so-called white man, he's going to actually take down kingdoms, plural, man. All right? Even though the so-called white man going to be in power at the time, but the Lord is not going to just take down Esau and say, we know what, Elam, Ham, No, the Lord coming to take down everybody, man. You know, just so Ham, his arch enemy, going to be in power. Because you got to understand, it was just an intermission, so to speak, with the Roman Empire. The Lord came on the scene, and the ancient Romans was they was responsible for putting the Lord to death. So it was just like a small intermission, and they're gonna be in power when he come back in his glory. That's all, you know. But the Lord, you gotta remember that this thing wide range with the Lord. The Lord ain't in a box. The Lord is gonna get all you damn heathens, man. So the Lord gonna take down all the kingdom. That's what Daniel, the 2nd chapter, really all about, man. When the Lord take down, when the Lord, that stone hit them feet, it's gonna take down everybody. You know, the Lord wants to do everybody with that one moment. You know, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, this is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Mm-hmm.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Uh-huh.
An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
Yeah, that's the contrast with Esau, the so-called white man, and Yahushua and the elect. Right? When we set up, the planet Earth gonna be inhabited. It's gonna be life, you know, versus the so-called white man in power with just chemtrails and GMOs and just death.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well,
It says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
and that's that stone. You know, go ahead.
God, in the hand of the
Which is Yahushua. Go ahead.
in the hand of the Most High is the prosperity of man, and upon the persons of the scribes shall he lay his honor.
Mm-hmm.
Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all thy injurious practices.
Yep. Injurious. Now,
Injurious,
what
yeah.
verse you at?
I'm in verse 7 now.
Come. Yep.
God, in verse 7, pride is hateful before the Most High man,
Mm-hmm.
and by both doth one commit iniquity.
Yep. Go ahead.
Because of unrighteous dealings,
Because of unrighteous dealings,
injuries,
injuries,
and riches got by the sea,
and riches got by deceit, which is all so-called white man is guilty of all that. The brother brought out earlier, if thieves come by night and stole grapes when they leave some grapes. You know? Go ahead.
it said the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right, and the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Meaning when Yahushua come and take down the so-called white man, it ain't gonna be no room for any other nation to come into power, man. The transfer of kingdom, we just read. That's gonna be Yahushua is gonna come and solidify Israel's storm with the elect, they spot for rulership forevermore, man. You know? Go ahead.
God, it says, white is earth and ash is proud. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such an one selleth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get on that.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, so yeah, go ahead.
The book of Psalms 86 and verse 8. And it says gods, I'm reading verbatim, gods with a lower G, all right, which is heathen gods, which is not the Most High. Among the gods there are none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. All nations whom thou have made shall come and worship before thee.
See? So the Lord, when he takes down Esau, he's actually going to take down kingdoms plural. You know?
It says, O Lord, and shall glory thy name.
Yep. Every knee going to bow to the name of Yahushua. All right, you got some over there?
Yep.
This is all Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. After this, I beheld and lo, a great multitude with no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and songs in their hands. In verse 10, they cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation.
Yeah, and that's dealing with the elect. You know, keep going up.
In Revelation chapter 7, verse 10, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power, which sit upon the throne and unto the Lamb.
Right. So the throne is reserved for Yahushua, man. So what's going to happen? The Lord is going to take the kingdom. Oh, give me that, the saints will take the kingdom. I guess we'll end off on that. Listen, y'all get something else. Thank you. Yep. So again, the title of this lesson and what we bringing out is centered around the fact that when Yahushua returns, it's going to be the downfall of kingdoms. All right, the rise and fall of kingdoms, plural. All right, go ahead.
Let me start at verse 17. Is Daniel.
Oh, and I can say something real quick too. Psalms the 83rd chapter prove that.
Yeah,
because it's a conglomerate of nations that came up against Israel. All right? Even though the so-called white man is the arch enemy, you got other nations involved in that too, the Lord gonna take down. You know? Go ahead.
Yeah, James 7:17. These great beasts, which are for kings, which shall arise out of the earth, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Yeah, and keep reading now.
God, it says, then I would know the truth of the four beasts, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured and break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
Right. So that's dealing with right now, man. You know, going back, because really when you go into it, like we just pointed out, the Roman Empire is what right now is what you see is an extension of the Roman Empire. Really, the last days, when the scripture we read where it say Esau at the end of the world, that really goes back to the Roman Empire. Because really, the last days started when Yahushua came on the scene 2,000 years ago, man. So that's what we had in the problem. Really, we in the last seconds of the last days, you know? So that's pretty much it, man. The Lord, you got something? Yeah, bring it up.
Psalm 66 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse 2. Sing forth the honor of his name. Make his praise glorious. Say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works. Though the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee.
And all these different nations is the Lord's image. Matter of fact, you got some more on that?
Mhm.
Oh, Psalm 83. Go ahead.
Verse 4, all the earth shall worship thee and
Mm.
shall sing unto thee. They shall sing the name. Salah.
Right, so all these,
Sing to thy name. Salah.
yep, so all these different nations is gonna bow to Yahweh Shai. And when Yahweh Shai come, when he take down the so-called white man, that's gonna be a ripple effect. He's not just taking down Esau, he's taking down everybody. That's the title of the lesson, the rise and fall of kingdoms. You know? Well,
Yeah, this Psalms 83:1. Keep not thou silent, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High.
and what you see now is a fulfillment of that. Lord, open our mouth so we can declare that there's another kingdom on the horizon. Go ahead.
The Lord, thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy what enemies, plural.
Mhm.
And we just read that. That's
Yeah.
you know. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So it really ain't just Esau. When Yahweh take down Esau and NATO and the EU, the whole statue don't fall.
Yeah.
So that proves that the statue still in power. The statue still the entity of that wicked demonic spirit, those customs of those old kingdom is still in play. What?
It says, they have said, come, and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
What?
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacle.
See, that's a statue. They all together, they one body. Right? So Yahweh gonna come get all them motherfuckers.
Okay.
No? The Babylonians ain't gonna escape. The Medes ain't gonna escape.
Okay.
Lord gonna knock out the EU and the UN, the so-called white man, but he gonna take down all of them in the process. Right?
The tabernacles of Edom.
See? Which is where he gonna come get.
Yeah.
He gonna come get. You know, the Lord, the last shall be first, the first shall be last. The Lord don't think like you nigga. A nigga swing at the head. Nigga punch you in the face. Y'all say gonna get the basis of men, which is the
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It said the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal,
All them Babylonians, Hagarenes, Hamites, go ahead.
and Ammon and Amalek,
You know what Ammon and Amalek is, go ahead.
the Philistines,
You know them so-called Africans too, go ahead.
with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot.
Right, so the Lord started from the top. No, the top is Esau, which is the bottom.
Okay.
So that's a direct link up with the statue right there, man. So the Lord is coming to take everybody down. All right? There's only going to be one kingdom, man. There's going to be the kingdom of Israel by default, with our Lord Yahweh Shai leading the charge, along with the elect. We pray that we're a part of that number. All right?
Okay.
So anybody else got something?
I got one precept I want to get out the comment board. This is from GMS Yahweh Abad, James 5 and verse 1. It says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall be upon you.
Yep, and that's dealing with the elites, so-called white men. All right. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Radash.
Double honors to the head apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom, must do honors and respect to you brothers out there laboring in his work. Till the next time we say shalom.
Shalom.
DTA.
PTA.
PTA.
God.